Hey everyone, don't forget to push that like button on the video because it does help out the channel quite a bit. And if you are new here to Geekdom 101, hit that subscribe button and enable all notifications so that you get all my content delivered to you right when it comes out. I thank you for 6 years of support and hopefully many more to come. Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 71 will continue the Granola arc, and now it appears like Granola, with all these new powers, is on his way to go find Frieza and to eventually get his revenge. But will he get his hands on Frieza this manga chapter, or will the Heaters get involved, and how will Goku and Vegeta figure into all of this? We're talking about all of that and more today here on this video. Gonna have a fun little Dragon Ball discussion with, joining me now, the former Oppai senpai. Now he's dropped the Oppai because YouTube prefers a better name, so we're gonna call him Mr. Senpai, bro. What's going on?
I still love my Oppais, bro, but I am Mr. Senpai today. Yo, I'm excited for this. This manga, I know you're not a big fan of the writing, but there's a lot of multi-dimensional chess going on with different parties. So I'm excited to talk about what's going to happen in the upcoming chapters, because it's going to be a major twist that I'm going to reveal exclusively on Geekdom 101 towards the end of this video. So guys, get ready for that.
Good. I'm very excited to hear your twist. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I will say that it's not so much the writing. It's not the writing of the overall manga arc. It's just the last, like, 2 chapters ago, I didn't like it, but they can always fix it by giving us something interesting. And I think the obvious teases are Granola versus Goku, Granola versus Vegeta, Granola versus Frieza, and eventually maybe the Heaters being in there as well. They don't have the power, I don't think, to mess around with, especially Goku and Vegeta, but manipulation is something that it seems to be that they're kind of going for. So do you think we're going to see Granola versus Frieza already? Because people are saying that this chapter, or that this arc is going by very, very fast, and that we might already see it. But are there any more obstacles that are stopping Granola from reaching the Frieza right now?
Well, I can tell you, I don't think Frieza is going to appear next chapter, but I do believe that he is 100% going to appear. He was mentioned over a dozen times in the previous chapter. That's a crazy.
Well, he has to appear. He has to appear in this arc, but I mean next chapter. What do you think?
So here's what I think is going to happen next chapter. It has to do with Elec. In chapter 69, Elec, the leader of the Heater gangs, he had no idea what the Dragon Balls were. He learned about the Dragon Balls once they dissected the history and the memory of OG-73, which, by the way, they still have OG-73 at their disposal, yes. And that is going to come back.
That may come back in the future, yeah, for sure.
And I'll talk to you about how that's going to come back later. But then
I have an idea now, but no,
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Then in chapter 70, Elec, here are the things about Elec that make him a very strong opponent. He knows about the Dragon Balls, and he told Granola, I'll get back to you later, all right? We'll give you the information. So what does Granola do? He goes back to Planet Cereal. So what I think is going to happen in chapter 71, Elec and the Heater gang are going to go to Planet Cereal, right? Under the impression, oh, we're coming here because we told you we're going to give you the location of Frieza. Here's Frieza's location. Go do your thing. Oh, Granola is then going to leave Planet Cereal to go find Frieza. But then the Elec gang is now Planet Cereal, and they know that the Dragon Balls are right there. So they're going to seek out the Dragon Balls while Granola is away.
Will the balls actually work? He just made a wish like the previous day, right? Or recently. It wasn't that long ago.
Here's one of the twists. Typically, Dragon Ball Super, one of the YouTube channels, they typically show like a little trailer teaser for the upcoming chapters. What's interesting is that in chapter 69, I believe, chapter 69, they didn't actually make their trailer public.
That's right. They kept it private until the day the manga came out, which by then we were all reading it anyway, so thanks, you know?
But even when I go to their YouTube channel, I don't see the trailer. And what happened in that trailer is that they actually show a colored version of the Dragon Balls. And one of the things that you notice about these Dragon Balls is that the stars are actually black.
Yes, similar to the GT balls, but not exactly the same, but they look like that.
But here's another thing that was also very interesting. About 2 days before the chapter came out, the Dragon Ball of news website, they had an article with Akira Toriyama where he was talking about Super Shenron from Dragon Ball GT, which he rarely talks about GT. But for some reason, on the same chapter that we're gonna see Dragon Balls with a black star in them, he's talking about the dragons from Dragon Ball GT. Very interesting. So my theory is that these 2-star Dragon Balls don't actually function the same way as the typical Dragon Balls that we've seen in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super.
Well, that we certainly know.
There's really no evidence for us to assume they can't be used right away.
No, you're right. It could be different. Could be totally different rules. You're totally right about that.
Exactly. So that's my assumption, that he's going to be able to use the Dragon Balls right away. And then here is the twist. We know in order to gain this power of becoming the most powerful warrior in the universe, which specifically the part referring to Universe 7, Granola had to give up 150 years. The Serialites live up to 200 years. And we know that Granola was 50 years old because he confirmed that he gave up 150 years of his life. So he gave up 150 years and now he has 3 years remaining. What if you bring somebody who isn't alive like OG73? Alec, he doesn't want to give up his life in order to become the strongest warrior. But what he can do is tell the dragon, why don't we make the sacrifice for OG73, who isn't technically alive?
He wouldn't care about his own life at all, because he wouldn't. Yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
Well, OG73 doesn't have a lifespan.
Right. So they want to give him the power, but could the dragon grant that wish? Well, I guess he could, because this dragon seems to be able to grant anything. I mean, not anything, but
right.
He seems to have different limitations from the Earth or Namekian balls.
Theoretically, OG73 should be able to receive the same wish that Granola received from the dragon, but without any consequences, because he doesn't have a set lifespan. He's not a living organism.
Right. So you're saying that they want to make OG73 the strongest in the universe?
Yes. But here's the problem. Alec is going to have a miscalculation. He is in control of everything. He's manipulating Frieza. He's manipulating the saiyans. He's manipulating Granola. He's manipulating the Sugarians. He's manipulating everybody. But his miscalculation is that he won't be able to control OG73. Once he has OG73 as the most powerful warrior, he won't be able to control him. And that's the true villain of this arc.
So do you think that Granola will ultimately be the one to take out? Well, that's a different video, I guess, if they actually go down that road. I was just curious if Granola will be able to beat 7-3, because if they're both at equal power, I mean, if he asks to be the strongest, does that mean that Granola's wish gets canceled? And that 7-3 becomes the strongest, or does that mean that 7-3 becomes stronger than Granola? See, that's I think it would be the second one, right? It would make the most sense if it's the second one.
Well, the problem is that Granola has 3 major weaknesses that technically won't make him the strongest. And it has to do, one of them is the fact that his storyline is actually in parallel with Vegeta's storyline in this arc, this saga. So if you go back to chapter 69, when Beerus was talking to Vegeta, Beerus said something very interesting that actually also reflects on Granola. Beerus said in chapter 69, page 27, "My mind is always on destruction and nothing else. That's why there's no limit to my power. Listen, if you really want this power, you're gonna have to destroy any stray thoughts and recreate yourself from scratch. Before creation comes destruction." But he also says that Vegeta is stuck in the past, and that is the reason why he's not gonna become any stronger, because he's always stuck in the past. But that's the same thing with Granola. Granola is stuck in the past. And that is one of his limitations. That is part of the reason why he's not going to be able to go even beyond his current power. Now, the other thing that we noticed, Alec revealed something very interesting in chapter 70. If Granola is facing off against Goku and Vegeta as a pair, specifically he used the word pair. He said, universe strongest or not, if he's up against that pair, it's game over for him. So he's talking about Goku and Vegeta.
Absolutely. That makes perfect. Especially, and if they make Gogeta, forget it. You're done.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I believe that the specific wording that they used here is not necessarily that Goku and Vegeta are going to face off against Granola, but I believe that at some point, because I still believe that Granola is going to be able to beat them because they tend to fight separately. But I believe that Gogeta is going to make an appearance in this saga.
I think that's more likely here than before. I would agree with you on that. Yeah, way more likely. Only because they're up against somebody who wished to be the strongest. I do wonder, though, if the Heaters go and make that wish. I wonder if they're going to make a wish to just remove Granola's power, and then Granola shows up against Frieza, and then he has no power, but he thinks he does. That probably wouldn't work. I think your idea makes more sense as far as having 7-3 be the real villain. So would it end up being Goku, Vegeta, and Granola against 7-3? Is that like the final battle here?
Yeah, because this is a very predictable type of storyline for Granola, right? He's focused on the Saiyans. He's gonna fight off against the Saiyans, but ultimately he's going to realize.
Well, really, he wants Frieza. He really wants Frieza. That's what he wants.
For some reason, Toriyama made the connection that Bardock is one of the ones who was there while his 40 years ago.
He's gonna want revenge on Goku and Vegeta, but at some point they'll probably turn him to not be against them because you know it is something that King Vegeta, Bardock, and Frieza, Goku and Vegeta had no control over what their parents did. I mean, you know what I mean? So he has to realize that.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's a good guy. Granola is not a bad guy. He's a good guy with good intentions of getting revenge. That's fair in this universe, getting revenge for those
revenge is not always a good intention, but in Dragon Ball, you know, you might as well. It's Frieza, bro. Frieza deserves it.
Right. But you also have to look at Alec's plan. What is his plans? His plans are to eventually get rid of Frieza, not the Frieza Force, but just Frieza himself. So there's no take over. So there's really no reason for them to want to remove Granola's powers. It's much better if they manipulate Granola, get them to fight against the Saiyans, and then maybe get to fight against Frieza and try to kill Frieza. Then eventually use OG-73 to get rid of the ones who are remaining and then take over the universe. So I believe that is Alec's ultimate plan.
Yeah, I think that is his ultimate plan, but I wonder how it's going to pan out because what you just described right there could be wrapped up in like 4 months. And if this is going to be a short arc, I would be surprised. I think this is going to go as long as Moro. Maybe not 2 years, but at least a year. At least a year and a half. So something else has to happen. But as far as chapter 71 goes, you think that this chapter is mostly going to be what? Like just in that chapter, what are you expecting?
Planet Cereal. We're going to see some drama there. Then we're going to finally see Granola learning about the location of the Saiyans and eventually meeting up with the Saiyans.
So he's going to go to Beerus' planet? I
don't think he's going to go to Beerus' planet because how will he find that information? Although
that's what he can go to Zuno because remember they already mentioned Zuno earlier in this arc. Zuno's coming back in this arc, bro.
So the reason why Alec wasn't able to find Zuno's location was because Zuno's sector was protected by the Galactic Patrol, but after they were able to acquire OG-73's body and look through his data, they were able to then get the accurate coordinates for Zuno's location.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's how he might be able to get access to that knowledge. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's gonna probably give that information to maybe Oatmeal, and then Oatmeal's gonna give it to Granola, and then Granola's gonna go to Planet Beerus.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. So you think the chapter might end with that'd be a great cliffhanger if it ends with Granola showing up on Beerus' planet, because he would be the first guy to show up there on his own without Whis taking him there, other than heroes. I can't think of any. Has anybody ever shown up there without Whis taking him there?
No, nobody
except for the gods, like mortals. I mean, yeah, he's the only one. Like obviously Grand Priest. Oh, with the Kais probably, but outside of the godly people, no mortals been able to do that. So I'm sure that'll be a big shock to them. That's exciting. You know, that could turn the arc around for me. I could make things more interesting. We'll see how it goes. So I'll obviously leave it up to the commenters, see what they think about chapter 71.
One thing I do want to say, keep an eye on Vegeta, because by the end this saga is over, Vegeta might not be the same character.
He'll have Hakai for sure.
He might be a totally different character in terms of his personality and who he is. And that's because of what Beerus told him. You have to rewrite yourself, recreate yourself. Destruction comes before creation. And this is limiting your power. So if you want to have unlimited power like me, you need to change who you are. So if Vegeta accepts that, then to become stronger than Goku, it's going to be a different Vegeta.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I don't know if he's going to surpass Goku in this arc, but I think him knowing Hakai will make him a very dangerous threat. And I still believe that he's going to Hakai Frieza at some point. I'm not saying it's going to be next chapter or even in this arc, but I think him knowing Hakai means that anytime Frieza steps out of line, he's done. So I just feel like that's going to be Frieza's ultimate end will be at the hands of Vegeta, in my opinion. You know, I've said that for a while, but now it's even more obvious. You know what I mean? All right, well, let us know in the comments what you think and where you think chapter 70 will go in the manga. And do you think that the Granola fight is going to be interesting, him being the strongest? What's going to happen to throw a monkey wrench in these plans? 'Cause it's not just going to go the way people think, I don't think, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, who knows? I've been wrong in the past and anything can happen. Thanks again. Thank you, Mr. Senpai.
Anytime, brother. It's been a good time.
We'll talk to y'all next time.